With Silksong only a few days away from release, I decided to go ahead and head on back to where it all began. I decided to stream Hollow Knight and see if I'm still the best Hollow Knight player ever to live, and if it's still as good as it was all those years ago when it came out. And the answer is yes to both of those questions. Oh, come on, dude. Fuck off! Dude, what the fuck? These fuckers won't go away. Now, in case you don't know, I'm pretty much streaming here and on Twitch almost every day. I'm playing games and reviewing them. That's kind of my whole shtick right now between all my other uploads with just like random news or stuff that's on my mind. So it's kind of a nice filler. But I want to go ahead and talk about Hollow Knight. It is probably one of the greatest indie games ever created. With such a small team that made it before, they did a really, really good job. The designs were amazing. Animation was so spot on. It's very unique, the soundtrack's amazing, and there's a lot of replayability to it. So let me just get into the whole bare bones of it so you can kind of see what it's about in case you've never played Hollow Knight before. Basically what the gist of it is, you are basically what is called a Hollow, and you journey onward into a fallen kingdom, which is the Hollow Nest. And you're going through all these different areas of the map and kind of discovering the secrets of what happened in that area, what's actually happening to the people there. So there's an infection going on, and it controls the mind of all the inhabitants, turning them into basically zombies, and your job is to go in there and fuck shit up so that way you can put an end to the whole thing. So pretty straightforward. You go in, get upgraded, kick some bosses around, and you're done. It's a very cookie cutter formula, but it still works. It's a Metroidvania game, so as the name implies, it's a Metroid style game. So it's a side scroller platformer, and you're just going around discovering every little nook and cranny you can find so that way you can become stronger. Now let me go into the combat here. The combat is pretty difficult. It's easy to grasp, but at the same time, it's very, very hard to master completely. Just because of the amount of enemies that are in this game and all their different fight patterns, you have to basically be on top of it the whole entire time, because this game will chew you up and spit you out like in SpongeBob when King Neptune takes that delicious Krabby Patty, eats it, and then spits it out again just to have another bite. That's basically the enemies of this game. They are brutal. And it was so bad for me that when I was playing, I started out on keyboard and mouse, but for some goddamn reason, the buttons for jump, attack, and special abilities are all right next to each other. So I kept getting that thing mixed up and it just screwed me over. So I just went ahead and gave up and plugged in a controller because that just felt more natural to me. And I actually did a lot better. So depending on your preference, you may want to plug in a controller, but if you're like a super keyboard god, then go ahead and play with keyboard. So just be wary of that. Next thing I want to go into is the exploration. There are so many different areas of this whole map. I think when Silksong comes out, it's going to be like way bigger than that. So it takes a long time to go through everything, especially if you have to go back and get certain abilities in order to get to certain spots. So you have to backtrack a lot. You have to unlock all these fast travel points. Thank God there are a few of those, but they don't always get you everywhere. You have to go like halfway there and then book it the rest of the way on your own. So that's a bit of a risk too, because if you hit enemies, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening if you're going up for like a special boss or something. And then bringing me to my next point, which I'm gonna be talking about the bosses in this game. Now, I did think all the bosses were very unique. I love all their designs. Some of them are really funny looking. Some of them are really just badass. So I think the team did a really good job on making all these bosses. And what adds to the replayability factor and the grinding part of it, which is basically the main point of it, is that you can go ahead and do some of the secret bosses. Because there are a lot of special secret bosses in the game. I think once you get the Dream Nail, then you can go ahead and replay some of the bosses. They are a lot tougher now. And they... fucking God, those things suck. I hated those boss fights. I didn't even beat all of them. When I was playing, I ended up doing the regular ending, so you just go in and do the boss. You don't do any of the extra secret stuff, that way you can get the true ending. So I did that first, and apparently on my PlayStation, when I played this a long time ago, I still had my old save on there. So after I beat the first ending, I went ahead and turned on my PlayStation and re-downloaded it. It was like a 2-minute download, but I still have my save file, and then I went ahead and did the true ending on stream. So thank God for Cloud, because that shit carried over and I was able to do both endings on stream, which I was really happy about, because I did not want to torture myself by going through all the extra bosses and fighting them so I can get the Awakened Dream Nail, and go through even more pain by doing even harder secret bosses and having to go through the whole areas again just so I can get special attachments for myself. So it's a lot. There's a lot to do. And I think even when I beat the game on my first go around, I only had 91% completion, so I didn't even get through everything. That's how long this game was, and it took me like originally 30 hours to do it. So keep that in mind if you actually want to play this game. The only reason I don't do the secret stuff all that often on stream is just because I want people to go play these games. I think it's best to go experience it for yourself rather than just see someone else do it. Plus, it gives a lot of credit to the people who make this game, and they did a really good job. It was a smaller team back then. I'm sure it's a lot bigger now, but with what they had, they actually made a very, very solid game, and it's still very good today. So next thing I want to talk about is the endings. So there are a total of 6 different endings, each with their own requirements. I only did 2. Like I said, I did the base one, and then I did the true ending. Getting these endings is a big pain in the butt. I didn't go for like the special ones that you can get by going to find the mushroom in the cave and then just following him everywhere. I didn't do any of that. Now, if you are going for the true ending, there is so much you have to do in order to get that ending. So first you have to do the main quests before you go into the boss fight. Then one of the other steps you have to do is get the Void Heart charm. So in order to get that, you have to find the King Soul charm, which is all the way down in the abyss, which is where the character was born, and then you have to use your Dream Nail. Now, before you do that, you have to also awaken your Dream Nail, which costs 1800 Dream Essence, and in order to do that, you have to go all over the map, find these trees that offer different dream bubbles, or you can go ahead and fight secret bosses, or go ahead and revisit the bosses you fought originally, and then fight those special versions of those bosses in order to get more Dream Essence. It's a lot. It's very cutthroat and it's very brutal. It's not for the faint of heart. The game looks innocent, but it's not. And once you get there and you fight the Hollow Knight, you have to use your Awakened Dream Nail, go in his dream, and then fight the Radiance. And if you're not prepared for that, you are in for a rude awakening, because that boss has 3 stages. 1 at the base level where he's shooting shit all over the place. 2 where you're on a platform and you have to jump around and do the same thing basically. And then 3, you have to dodge his lasers, going all the way to the top so you can get that one final blow in. And once you do that, it's so fucking satisfying. Once you do it, it's like putting into that perspective that you actually beat the game the true way. You did everything right, and all your pain and suffering was not in vain. So it's a very rewarding feeling, but it's a very horrible feeling whenever you're losing over and over again to those bosses. But overall, this is a very good game. I think it has a lot of replayability. It has a big challenge if you're ever into that. So I would definitely say pick it up and play it before you play Silksong whenever that comes out, because it'll get you ready for probably the most difficult thing ever. And I think when Silksong comes out, I'll probably do the secret stuff just because I want to play it all the way through and actually accomplish it. So look forward to that. But like I said, great game, solid, great soundtrack, and amazing looking characters. Team Cherry did an amazing job. So other than that though, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll talk to you later. See ya.